Okay, so is there anything that you can think of in your lifetime, even looking far in the future, where your obligation to do something would trump your preference to not do it?
I don't know. I'm not thinking that
How about
far ahead.
motherhood? How about motherhood? Are there things perhaps in your future as a mother, God willing, that you'll have to do things that are bound to your obligations and not your preferences?
Yeah, but I think when I have kids, I'll be ready to have kids and I'll want to have kids. So it will ultimately all be things I'll want to do for my kids.
Right, but there are things you don't want to do that you have to your kids and for your kids too. That's what I'm pointing to, is that ultimately obligations are the things that this generation has really lost. You guys are just driven by wants and desires and preferences. It's purely materialistic bullshit. And then when you're put on the spot, asked like, well, do you want to find a man of your dreams? You say, yeah. I want him to be this, and this, high quality, high income, this, and this. Not that any of you have gotten to that point on this panel yet, but when we ask you in return, what do you bring to the table? You never say, I'll give you children. I will stay at home and mother your children into great people. You say, you just get me. I'm good enough. I'm a graduate in sociology or some shit. And that's what we're asking you constantly. What do you guys give in return for the men that you're trying to find? If they fulfill their obligations as men in your perfect world, what are you doing?
Are you asking me, or was that like everyone?
Any of you. I mean, really any of you.
Loving environment?
Like a home? Like beautiful?
I don't know. I feel like women are
Loving.
homemakers. People are going to be mad at me for it, but women are homemakers. That's what they used to do. That's what they're supposed to do. They say that a house isn't a home without a wife. They say that it takes a wife to make the home. What is a man supposed to do? He's supposed to go, provide for his family, be a provider, take care of his whole family while the woman is at home, taking care of her family, taking care of her house, because everything is hers. It might be from the man, but everything's the woman's. She takes care of the kids, she takes care of the house, she takes care of the food, she takes care of the laundry. You don't know where your clothes are, you're asking your wife. You don't know where your socks are, you're asking your wife. You don't know where something is, you're calling your wife.
I guess she brings in nurturing.
Yeah,
aspect.
it's
She
like
brings order
more
to the
how they
home.
say too. It's like dads are more aggressive, they're more tough love, and how moms are more nurturing, like you said,
Yeah.
nurturing. Like a woman's touch is really more what it is. A lot of men don't want to say that they need women. They don't this, they don't that, but men do need women.
Okay. Sounds
Like I
like
said, people
most
are
of you
gonna be
agree.
mad, but
They say
home.
behind
like
every
most
great
of you
man is a
are-
woman.
So it sounds like most of you agree and understand the descriptive reality of men and women, ultimately what their obligations and duties and what they're good at are. The question I have is, what is this waste of time between 22 years old and 35?
Figuring it out.
What is it you're doing?
Some of us
It's
are healing. Some of us are healing.
I feel
yeah,
It's like you're figuring it out stage. You don't really know until you go through it. So
Yeah, like sometimes some people too, it's like you could be with someone and you could think you're fully 100% ready or they're 100% ready, but you don't even know what ready is. You're ready for what though? You know what I mean?
also
What
feel like-
exactly are you ready
Be a
for? You're
mom.
ready to get a house. You're ready to get a business. You're ready to fully shift focus. You're ready to start a family. You're ready to do what exactly when you say you're ready? When you are 22,
Ready.
at 22, do you feel, any of you guys here, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, do you feel you're ready to take on any of that responsibility by yourself or with someone who you see yourself with now?
I
Actually,
did.
yes.
Yeah, I
see,
did when
like,
I was
a lot of
younger, but just
people,
not
like,
motherhood. I don't
it's
want to be a
like-
mother.
It's different. I have a lot of people, they want kids, they don't want kids. Some people, they don't even see themselves getting houses. They want to live high-rise houses. They want to live penthouses. They want to live traveling. You know what I mean? Everyone's just kind of different in their own way,
I'd like to chime in with that. Like
Yeah.
for me, I've always known that I wanted to be a wife, and at first I was like, at first I used to think that I didn't want kids. Then I realized, like, when I found the right person, I realized that all I wanted to do was like be a wife and mother.
Yeah,
and
you
right
want to
now
be
I'm
able
like,
to settle down because that's what you know, because that's what's comfortable. That's what you are raised to think. You're supposed to get married. You're supposed to, and most people do. Like you want to get married. You want someone there for you. You want everyone does. You could say you don't. Whatever. But to each his own. But in the end, that is why wouldn't you want to get married? Why wouldn't you want to be with your person and like
yeah,
further with them
that's
and
the
grow
question
with
that he
your
Right.
person?
that he was asking, like, what's the wasted time between 22 and 30 for a lot of women? And I'm personally saying that I don't think that like for me personally, I know that we might be speaking in generalities, but
Yeah.
I'm just answering for me personally because that's all that I can. Like me personally, I've always known that I just wanted to be a wife and be a mother, and I've always known that I'm dating to marry. And like me personally, I wouldn't entertain a man that I didn't think would be suitable to be my potential husband, nor would I enter a relationship with a man or any type of like involvement with a man that I don't think is possible to be my future husband. So I don't think that I'm wasting time between 22 and 30. I feel like I'm exactly where I should be right now.
Really quick before you have your follow-up, Jim Bob, JJ comes in here with a great super chat. Go ahead and play the clip, put it on video. All right, go ahead and play it.
With everything under the last boss, and it wasn't good for me at all. So I want guidance. I want leadership. But don't just like boss me around, you know? Like lead me when I'm in the mood
To be led.
to be led.
Okay, that's ridiculous, but yeah, that's crazy. And then Jim Bob, did you have a follow-up on that?
I just wanted to frame it as like the leverage that women have in it's still in disparity to men's force. Men dominate for a reason, but the thing that women do have is their fertility, and what they do have is they can offer a man what no other person could offer, no other man could offer, which is motherhood, which is being the spouse, which is running the household, which is for a society, it's a microcosm of the society. The thing that women leverage is the ability to be the bearers of children for the next generation. Not only that, but to raise them. And it just seems that this whole like, I'm chasing my dreams, I'm healing, I'm learning, I'm this, I'm that. And it's like, the thing you guys are good at, you actually do naturally. So there's nothing to really learn other than to just follow through with what you're natured to do.
Well,
and it's a super powerful position. And it's like, for some reason you believe this lie, not you guys in particular, maybe some of you, but there is this generational lie accepted that being in the home and being a mother and being submissive to a husband is somehow degrading, or it's not what it is. I should be out there running a company. You've been lied to. And the sad part is that you waste your fertile years chasing a dream to mimic a man, and you just become a weak man. That's all you become in the end.
I see you shaking your head.
Yeah.
I see you shaking your head. What's your response?
I just don't believe that, a woman has to be a mother. That's not something that has to be done. I personally, if I get into a relationship, that's one of the first things I start with. Actually, I want to know that the guy doesn't want children, because I know that I do not want children. That's not my preference. That's not something I see myself doing. But I do believe it's a very admirable thing. A woman being a mother is super admirable. Not many people can do it. And I also personally don't think I would want to do it or think I can do it. So I know it's better for me in the long run to not do that. And as long as the guy's okay with it, then that's fine.
Okay, so if you don't bring to the table being a mother, you do understand that you are basically reducing the pool of men that you're going to end up being with for a long term, right?
Not everyone wants to be a dad.
Not everyone, exactly. I just pick, I start with that.
Okay, if you take everyone who wants to be a dad and everyone who doesn't want to be a dad, right? If you don't want kids, you're only dealing with the people who don't want to be dads, right? So that's less people, right? Less men to choose from,
Right,
correct?
and that's okay.
Okay, you're okay. But the thing is, what is your relationship long term if it's not a family? What is it?
It's still a family. You two are considered a family. Just because you're not having children, your families, let's say you get married, of course, your husband and wife, your families are now intertwined. That's a whole family right there. Just because you're not having children doesn't mean you're not a family.
Well, and
that's a really weird thing to say. Your family as soon as you're married, man and wife.
What is the purpose of the, why would
being
like,
together?
it's a relationship that
Being solidified.
I guess it would be a partnership, because what would you say to the couples that
Can't have kids.
can't have children?
So I think at least me and Jim Bob here, we're not disputing that there are certain couples, they can't have children. We're not disputing that there are women out there who don't want children. There are men out there who don't want children. If you want to partner up with them, that's fine. I don't know about you, Jim Bob. I don't really think there's anything to dispute there, but what Jim Bob, I think, is getting at is of the women who do want to have children, that's kind of where we're coming at. And then, but even then, even the women who don't want to have children, like, do you want to get married?
I do want to get married, yeah.
But so that adds another layer. Why? Like, just to be clear, I think you can not get married and have a stay with somebody for your entire life, be monogamous. Mm-hmm. You can even have kids with them, but you don't want to have kids. So why do you want to get married? That's very traditional, but you don't strike me as someone who's particularly traditional.
Right. Well, I did grow up, I was raised kind of, I was in a religious household and things like that. So I don't consider myself religious. I just consider myself having a relationship with God. If I had to fall under something, it'd be like non-denominational Christian, that kind of thing. But I definitely do believe in the principles of marriage itself. And
which are what?
Well, it's the union of two people, and it's just solidifying your bond to the world, to yourselves, under God, in my opinion, too, So
doesn't
my
God also
beliefs,
say,
Multiply.
Quentin, help me out, what is it, fruitful? Be fruitful or something? I don't know.
right? That's why I'm also not
but so-
religious, because
But so you're being very convenient and you're picking and choosing. You're cherry
I
picking.
wouldn't say it's cherry picking, because
How is
you
it not
also
cherry
have
picking?
to understand the dynamics of
Wait,
it.
but you're rejecting this one component of religion, but so you're like, oh, marriage benefits me because it provides me security in the relationship, and there's other benefits too, but also rejecting other components. That doesn't make sense, really.
I know that in my life, if I'm not called to have children, I don't think that. And in the beginning,
that's
it
fine.
said that.
I'm not
And
arguing
so
that.
with the Bible, in the beginning, it did say, be fruitful and multiply. There was also no people on the earth. You kind of have to think about that. And when it was stating that verse, it did say that in the beginning.
I mean, we're having
we have-
population collapse. So, I mean,
well,
are you about to say that we're overpopulated?
I'm not saying that. No, I'm just saying that.
Wait, what's the reason you want kids? Overpopulation, or?
No, the reason I don't want kids is because I don't see myself as being fit to be a mother, nor do I see it in my future. Like, I don't.
Are you fit to be a wife?
Yes. Yes, I can definitely be a great wife.
What do you feel the difference is?
The difference between wife, you have a whole child with, like, the difference between
I know,
wife
but
and a
it's the
mother.
same thing. Like, it's just kind of, I think earlier when I had mentioned, like about you're helping your husband with kids and whatnot, it's kind of the same thing. You're helping each other. You're expecting your person to be like grown, but you also want to kind of mold them to help them, right?
Well, when I'm in a relationship, like if I'm married, I don't see him as my child. He's my partner. So there's a whole big difference between having a husband and a child. And if you have a child, you're a mother, not a wife. You're a wife and a mother.
Is there a difference between a partner and a husband?
A piece of paper and a ring.
I mean, are you equal in duties?
No, your duties are different. You're equal as people.
Yeah, I agree. You're equal in value as people, but if your duties aren't equal, if his duty is to protect you and provide for you, what's your duty that you're bringing?
Your emotional support to the man, with what he's doing. So you're a backbone for him, and he can come to you with different things, and your love in the relationship. What's that?
So it sounds like a mom. So the thing is,
It's not a mom.
If he brings the bacon home and protects you and provides the home and the house and everything else,
And that's if that's
and
the
that's his
agreement.
obligation as a husband, okay? What's yours is supportive, but if he can do that without you, what's your obligation if he can do that without you?
We can all do things without each other. And if the obligation in the relationship is for him to just be the breadwinner and that's what he wants to do, and he wants to provide for me and me be the way I am, that's great. If we're both agreeing that I'm going to work as well, that's also great. I have no problem with an equal dynamic relationship like that as well.
So it sounds like if his obligation is to protect and provide, your obligation is just to support him vocally. Like, how is this equal?
There's just different roles. So if the guy's providing, like you said, a woman brings a lot to the table when it comes to being loving and caring and like
Cooking,
a stable,
cleaning,
yeah,
keeping the house in order.
right. If that's that's typically what
gonna do that?
that's my natural thing. Honestly, when I'm in an environment, even when I'm dating a guy, I'll tend to want to do that for him. Honestly, that's something I enjoy. I enjoy cooking. I enjoy cleaning. I enjoy doing something nice for him to make his life easier. Honestly, if he's working all day, I'm naturally going to want to do things for him. Honestly.
I think they're trying to like compare the motherly and nurturing to your husband compared to being a mother, even though because you do motherly and nurturing things for your man naturally, right? Which would be considered like motherly, like doing their laundry, cooking for them, clean up after them, because I mean that's what moms do essentially.
I just don't.
I think that's what they're trying to
I understand what you're saying. Like it's like kind of like the natural as a woman,
Yeah.
like your instinct to take care.
Right.
Doesn't always mean you want to take care of a child.
No, exactly. I don't want to take care. It's where my selfishness does come in because it is part of what my job, my lifestyle does not support having children. I love to travel personally, and that'll take a big cut on what I'm able to do and where I'm able to go. So it's important to me to have that not limited.
How's that not going to impact a husband then? He has to fly with you to go on your auditions?
If he'd like to, it's not like, let's say I'm dating a pilot, I don't have to fly with him everywhere he goes.
I'm asking you, if you think it's unrealistic to be a mother and like a homemaker based on what your choice of career or what you think is going to happen in your future, I just don't understand if being the homemaker, even without children, isn't in the cards, it's not conducive to your preferences and your lifestyle. How is having a husband conducive at all to that lifestyle?
As long as they're okay with my lifestyle, just like I'd be okay with what they do. I don't understand. Like it'd
Are
be.
you trying to? I'm confused. I feel like it feels like you're trying to convince her to like want to have kids. I feel like some people just don't want to have kids, and that's just how it is. I don't know why there has to be like
If you
such
know,
a
you
specific
know.
reason. Just
No,
some
it's-
people.
And I
don't
think it's
want
the
to.
right thing to
I'm
do. It's
actually
more selfless, if
pointing to-
anything, if I don't think I'm prepared or willing to.
I've already, this ship has sailed in my mind for you having kids, unless something drastic changes in your spirituality, I believe. But the thing is, I'm just pointing to the pragmatism of your view right now, which is, well, I think I could be a wife, and we ask what a wife is, and you list a bunch of things that wives do in the house. But then you say, my lifestyle really isn't conducive to that. And so if it's not conducive to the complementary traits and behaviors to your man, I'm asking you, what is this relationship if you're flying around the U.S. doing who knows what? Like, what
Who
is
knows
this
what?
relationship
You mean
to
working?
a marriage?
Who knows what relating to work?
Whatever it is. Well, I don't care what it is.
I
I'm
will,
asking.
or I mean, leisurely travel. Yeah, I mean, I would